A happy Monday to you, sports fan. We welcome you into the Proview Network studios. I'm Adam Deal. This is the Proview Rundown. This is going to be our busiest Monday. This is wild because finally playoffs are here and state championships are here. In fact, we're going to go over soccer brackets because the state championships will be broadcasted live through the NFHS network. We'll have all those links for you a little bit later on our website, ProviewNetworks.com. But 3A girls and boys championships, 4A girls and boys championships, and 6A girls and boys championships all throughout the day Friday. And then we've got football playoffs, a couple of games for you in the first round as well. We're going to break down those brackets here in a second. And we've got some highlights for you. And then, of course, we got the crew in the zoo. What's up, guys? So, like, I feel like Alden is upset.
Yeah, you know,
Josh Brown is happy.
My Denver Broncos, you know, it's not that season for them, you know. We're usually clutch at finishing at the end, but this, for whatever reason this year, we just can't get it done in the fourth quarter. So it's rough seeing D. Thomas, a guy who is catching passes from Tim Tebow once a game, to now he's on the Texans, and I mean, he was the first couple drives they were going to him, and it was weird seeing him wearing the number 87. I don't know why he chose 87. That's kind of random, but you know, good luck, D. Thomas. You helped get us a Super Bowl.
Okay, and then I mean, you know, obviously you're upset you missed 51-yarder, 27 seconds left, and Vance Joseph doesn't want to get better field position. Who knows? But JB. Your San Diego Superchargers. Wait, why do I say San Diego? The L.A. Superchargers. Whatever. They're the San Diego Superchargers.
But at least you got the Superchargers right. I mean, came down to, you know, the Seahawks could have tied it up at the end, but their defense held strong. The 6-2 Superchargers. I mean, you're not upset yet because Dallas hasn't lost yet. They waited till Monday to lose. So.
Well, I'm fortunate on this Monday to not be upset yet, and we don't have a show on Tuesdays. So, you know, if they lose, I'll be over it hopefully by Wednesday. So that's how it'll go.
If they lose, I mean, come on, Adam, they're going to lose. They're the Cowboys.
Let's move on. We've got some highlights for you from this last week in football. We're going to start with a rivalry on Saturday. Las Lunas taking on Belen.
Sanchez following his blockers. He's in. Touchdown. Diego Sanchez in the Wildcat. Throws.
Oh, my
Caught.
God.
Touchdown.
Wow.
What a catch. Oh, my goodness. They thought Williamson in motion from right to left. Benavides will roll to his
wide
left.
open.
He's got a receiver for Coons wide open.
Wow.
20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Man, this beat is crazy.
Low snap for Benavides. He's throwing long. One-on-one coverage by Garcia. Cut! Garcia in the clear. Garcia's going to score. Touchdown.
Man.
Yard line, the Eagles will go for it. Play fake to Casillas. Aragon under pressure, rolls to his left. He's got a receiver open. Roy Ball's wide open. Caught. Touchdown.
Wow.
Go full house backfield. Dances drops the ball. Fumbles. Still on. Let's see. Scramble for it. Let's see who came up with it.
Let's take care of Belen, and Las Lunas get a great seed. I think better than people thought they were going to get going into the brackets that were released by the NMAA and by us here on the Bracket Breakdown on Saturday. Now, we're going to go over those brackets here in a little bit. Let's continue on some highlights. Cibola Cougars, did they need to win to beat Volcano Vista to get into the playoffs? Well, we'll tell you that in just a little bit, but the rivalry continued on Friday night.
Over on the east side bleacher, Deborah dropping, looking, pump fakes, throws it out, ball's up, caught at the 20, 15, 10, racing to the house, touchdown, Volcano Vista. Ivan Rodriguez takes it to the house. Keep you updated as much as we can. Rolling out to the left, throw the ball in the end zone, has a man out there, ball's caught, touchdown, Volcano Vista. Love it. Steele, here comes the pass. Looking out to the right, looking to reverse his field. Now it's a double pass, ball's caught. All the way down to the 20-yard line. Mark it. And dropping and looking over the middle. Ball's caught. Lane Smith spins around, breaks the tackle, goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Volcano Vista. Roll it out, drop in, throws it out deep. Has a man out there. Ball is caught. 20, 15, 10 to the house. Touchdown, Ivan Rodriguez. Be determined, we'll find out tomorrow night. Quick pass, ball's caught. Man's open at the 20. Breaks the tackle at the 15 and brought down there. Jacob, the ball's loose and comes up with it. Sanchez Maxwell came up with it. He's at the 35 and brought down at the 30. This offense. Handoff left side in the end zone. Touchdown, Jimmy Gallegos. This time they go right side. And in for the two-point conversion is Gallegos. Play action, blitz coming over the middle, and it's caught. And rolling ahead on the tip pass was Manzanares. Trips out to the right side. Martinez coming out. They swing it out to him. Clear shot to the end zone. Touchdown, Cibola Cougars. Steele ready, dropping. Quarterback draw. He's in the end zone for the two-point conversion to the right side. Throws it in the corner of the end zone. Ball is caught. Touchdown, Cibola.
Volcano Vista looking really good, and we're going to show you the bracket, and you should know by now Cibola slip in, and they're the last slot, and they get by Carlsbad. We'll tell you why that happened. Carlsbad fans not really happy about it. Is what it is, though, and we'll talk about it in depth when we show you those brackets here a little bit later in the rundown. But we continue with rivalries, and Rio Rancho trying to get back after the loss to Volcano Vista against Cleveland. The Storm without Dorian Lewis continue to roll on Friday night. Here's the option and the pitch to the outside. There's tons of room and walking into the end zone.
Jamal, man, this beat is crazy.
To Colton Madison, and Madison is going to stroll in on a casual.
Themselves out of the tournament, and they took care of business tonight so far.
Play action down the middle and look wide open is Chris Thomas. And man, Cleveland rocks and rolls. They get the #1 overall seed in 6A. We're going to talk about those matchups. In fact, we're going to get in depth with those matchups. We do have El Dorado and Sandia highlight coming in just a little bit, and then we're going to go through soccer brackets and football brackets and get you all caught up on everything you need to know here on the rundown.
High school sports are back. The 2018-19 season kicks off, and you could watch every Proview Network broadcast live on the NFHS network. Every moment, from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championships. Get your highly discounted monthly pass now. Go to ProviewNetworks.com and sign up. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or DreamStyleRemodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff. One scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough. Back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
It's the Proview Rundown. It's a gorgeous Monday morning here in the Duke City, and we're going over all the best highlights from this last weekend, and the brackets have been released. We'll go over state playoffs in soccer in just a moment as the state championships are coming your way on Friday. But first, let's get to some highlights. El Dorado needed a win against Sandia to get into the playoffs, or else they were out. So things got interesting at Wilson Stadium. There you go. El Dorado gets it done. No Gabe Smith yet. Now, is he going to be in the playoffs? I'll tell you, El Dorado's going to need him playing at Hobbs, the long travel on a Friday night. But if they have him, things could get interesting. We're going to show you that bracket in a second. But let's get to those brackets, and we'll start with 3A. These brackets all released, by the way, by the NMAA. And we had the bracket breakdown here on Proview Networks on Saturday night. And so here's what 3A looks like. So Hope Christian, they got the overall 1 seed. They'll take on the winner of that 8-9 matchup. Zuni with the last home game takes on Tularosa. You've got St. Mike's, they're the 4 seed, the 5 seed Robertson against Raton, the last team in. Remember, higher seeds host in that first round. Top 4 teams get a bye. Socorro, they're the overall 3 seed, get the winner of West Las Vegas versus Cobre, the 11-6 matchup. Dexter, they're the 2 seed against either Hatch Valley or Nimmy, as Hatch Valley plays host to Nimmy. And so there's that 3A bracket. Of course, Hope Christian, the undefeated Huskies, the heavy favorites going into this one. Let's move along. 4A we go, and congratulations to St. Pius. The Sartans come out of nowhere screaming through district, and a good win against Portales puts them over the Rams and the 1 seed, as they'll take on the winner of Ruidoso or Aztec. Ruidoso, the defending state champs, they'll play host to Aztec. Kirtland Central's the 4 seed in the bye. They'll play the winner of their rival Bloomfield or Moriarty. Moriarty slips into the playoffs, last team just edging out Espanola Valley in a coach's vote. That's the 5-12 matchup. Taos, they're the overall 3 seed, finishing second in their district behind St. Pius, and their only loss in the season at 9-1. They'll take on either Lovington or Bernalillo in the 6-11 matchup. The Portales Rams, they're the overall 2 seed. They'll take on either Grants or Silver. Grant's going to be hosting Silver in that 7-10 matchup. There's 4A. Let's move along now to 5A football. Roswell, they're our number 1 in that crazy tie-breaking district. They'll get the overall 1 seed as they win it in tie-breaking rules. Valley do get the last playoff game. That matchup could have been flipped depending on the coaches' poll, what goes towards Valley. And so Santa Teresa, though they had a really good 8-2 season, will have to come and travel and play Valley on Milne. By the way, that Valley-Santa Teresa game will be streamed live on the NFHS network. We'll have it for you on Friday night. We'll have the link on our website at Proview Networks. Artesia, they're the overall 4 seed, as they'll take on a very red-hot Piedra Vista team who's 7-3. Piedra Vista going to take on Del Norte, who wins their district and slides in at the last seed. That's the 5-12 matchup. Las Lunas edges Artesia and gets the 3 seed. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. They'll be number 3. Valencia will travel their short travel to Berlin in the first round of the playoffs on a rematch of a district game that happened a couple of weeks ago. Goddard, they're the 2 seed overall, as they got their first loss of the season to Roswell in a tight one at the end of the year. They'll take on the winner of Deming, who's district champs, and Farmington, who finished second in their District 1 of 5A. That 7-10 matchup, a long travel for Farmington. Let's take a look now at the 6A bracket. Cleveland, they're the overall 1 seed. They're 10-0 in the season. District 1 champs. They'll take on either Manzano or Rio Rancho. That Manzano-Rio Rancho game will be at Wilson Stadium at 7 o'clock on Friday night. We'll have it for you streaming live on the NFHS network as our coverage of playoffs continue here. Proview Networks will be streaming through the NFHS network. Links will be at our website, proviewNetworks.com. Click on our live schedule of events. Volcano Vista, they get the last bye. They're the 4 seed, get the winner of Mayfield and Cibola. This game will be played on Friday night at the Field of Dreams. Cibola, the last team to get in. They get in over Carlsbad. They tie in the NMAA criteria, and then it went to the coaches' poll. Coaches favored Cibola over Carlsbad. I bet it was tight. I would love to see those results. We'll never see them. But Alden Iowani's Cougars get in. I'll ask his opinion on that in just a moment. Centennial, they're the overall 3 seed. They're one of the 3 unbeaten teams, 10-0, winners of District 3. They'll take on the winner of their district rival, Hobbs, the 6 seed, or El Dorado, the 11 seed. Gabe Smith, does he play? If so, this gets a lot more interesting, and El Dorado's road maybe looks a little bit better. La Cueva, they're the overall 2 seed, as they are undefeated, 10-0 in the season. They kind of skated by and had some hiccups, but stayed unbeaten. They beat Clovis at the end of the year to make sure there wasn't a mess. They win District 2 outright. They'll take on the winner of a red-hot Las Cruces Bulldog team, who by a tie-breaking rule had to take 4th in their district, but still had that win head-to-head over Mayfield to end their season. They'll play host to the Clovis Wildcats. That game at the Field of Dreams at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And so there is your 6A bracket. Alden, I'll bring you into the conversation in this 6A bracket. Your Cibola Cougars, they do get in. A lot of people do think it's just. I think it is too. I think they're a good team. I think if they played Carlsbad, they probably win head-to-head. I would love to see that game just to see and find out, but it could have gone either way. I know you're happy about it.
Oh, yeah, Adam. I kind of wish it would have been cool. Like, I know they do it for, like, the NCAA tournament, but it would have been – it's way too crazy in football to have a play-in game. I think that would have been kind of interesting. I agree with that for sure. But I want to say congrats to my Cibola Cougars for hanging on, you know. They had a really red-hot start to their season. And, I mean, if you look week by week, they definitely had one of the toughest schedules in the state for sure. And they could have easily had 2 or 3 more wins if they could have pulled it out at the end. But I like the way Rod Williams and his staff are taking this Cibola team, changing the culture from when Judge was there. So big props to my Cibola Cougars for getting in. You know, it's going to be an interesting game against Mayfield. I think another thing I want to talk about that 6A bracket was at the beginning of the season, we were kind of iffy on the South teams, but as the state bracket revealed itself over 11 weeks, I mean, they're not at the top where we're usually used to them being, but I mean, we still have good Southern representation in the 6A bracket. So big kudos to the teams down south.
Yes and no, and I think it's a lot has to do with some injuries that took down in the north, right? And I think Monzano's a way better team than when the South played them. And then if you look at the bracket, if you want to put it back up, Alden, I look at this laid out for El Dorado, and if Gabe Smith is playing, which I think he's going to play, man, I'll tell you what, Hobbs, okay, they're decent. I think El Dorado with Gabe Smith is above and beyond, and I think I know he might be a little bit rusty, but we'll see. I mean, say El Dorado gets some momentum and Gabe Smith plays, and then Centennial is going to have to deal with the Eagles, and I'm telling you what a quarterfinal matchup that would be. I just think the bracket is very advantageous for the Eagles if they were to get Gabe Smith back and make a little bit of run. And we said it. If El Dorado, when they played La Cueva, that game was tied 19-19. Late in the fourth quarter, and then La Cueva scored 3 straight touchdowns. If Gabe Smith played that game, they would have beat La Cueva. Yeah. So I'm just saying that I think this is a bracket that they love.
Oh, yeah, and that's what Josh Brown's been saying, too, that Charlie Dotson, I mean, not that they would intentionally lose to get an 11 seed, but it worked out perfectly for them. They're definitely one of the better teams with Gabe Smith. They're definitely a top 4 team with Gabe Smith on it. So if he comes back, I'm still not completely sold on Centennial. If they're able to beat Hobbs, I'm not 100% sold that Centennial can beat El Dorado with Gabe Smith. And if he's 100% and he's ready to go, and I think El Dorado has a really good chance of maybe sneaking into the semis, and, you know, they could possibly run the table against La Cueva with their ups and downs on offense. I mean, El Dorado could definitely make a run in this tournament.
I love all 4 of these opening round matchups. I want to see Cibola versus Mayfield. Yeah, I think Cibola is going to give Mayfield a harder time than anybody thinks. I really believe they could win that game. You're going to see Rio Rancho Monzano. I'm really excited about that game. I think Rio Rancho is young, and they're up and down, and they're going to have to play good. Monzano's playing their best football right now, but Monzano's not blowing anybody out, I can tell you that. So that's going to be a close game. And Las Cruces versus Clovis. I find that is a very interesting matchup as well. I mean, Clovis has been playing a lot better. Now, the problem is Clovis away from home has struggled a little bit. Las Cruces has gotten a little bit better as this season has gone. And, of course, I want to see that Hobbs-El Dorado game. So I really love the first-round matchup.
Yeah, this first round in 6A is really legit. Monzano and Rio Rancho, regardably the 2 hottest teams in the second half of the season. That's going to be a really good matchup. And, even like you said, Las Cruces, Clovis, you never know which Clovis team you're going to get. But if they show up, that's going to be a really great game. Cibola going down to Mayfield. I mean, that's going to be a legit game too. Mayfield, one of the hotter teams in the second half of the season as well. But my Cougars have a really good fly-high offense. And Marcus Steele, one of the best quarterbacks in the Metro. So it's going to be a good matchup. And like you said, Hobbs versus Eldorado is also very intriguing for many reasons.
I think the team that has to be the happiest, and I'm not even kidding about, Volcano Vista. I feel like they've got the most advantageous second round matchup in front of them. I really do. I don't think Mayfield and Cibola are near them. And so I think you could start looking at Volcano in the semis. And they would then probably most likely take on Cleveland unless there was an upset. And I just think Volcano Vista's got to be really happy with where they're at.
Oh yeah, Volcano Vista could definitely steal this thing. Like, they took on Cleveland with Dorian Lewis, and I mean they're losing by 21. Came back in that game at Lightning Bolt Stadium too, so they're not afraid to go into Lightning Bolt Stadium and make some noise in that semis if that's the way it ends up. But I totally agree with you. Out of all the teams that could potentially win, I think Volcano in that second round, I think Volcano definitely has the easier matchup. Cibola, they played them in the last game of the season, like we saw earlier in the highlights. Cibola was kind of able to close the gap at the end, but I mean, Volcano Vista essentially controlled this whole game for 4 quarters. So, and Mayfield, I don't think they can keep up with Volcano Vista offensively with Jake Deathridge and all the weapons that Volcano has at its disposal. I would love to see them sneak into that championship game. But we'll see once the semifinals happen. Volcano teams have been known to have a lot of talent and choke it away. But I have more confidence in this team than I have in the past with Jake and just how the swag. I love the swagger that kid rolls with and the confidence that he has. And it's going to be a really tight one in 6A. But in 5A, I'm really intrigued on this 5A. Piedra Vista, one of the best teams in the second half for 5A. Valley, I mean, they're always dangerous with Judge Chavez and how he's kind of turned that program around a little bit. Now they're in the classification they want, but that top 4 is lethal, Adam.
It is, and Las Lunas is looking good. Now, Las Lunas, they had a concussion with their, well, I don't know if it's a concussion. They were looking at a head injury, which I would guess.
Yeah, they're speculating.
Their quarterback, and I think there's a 10-day automatic 10-day rule, but because they get their bye, so important, he could be back, and they're already down to their backup quarterback, right? So very curious about how that lines up, and I know a lot of schools do owe Las Lunas if they were to get into those semifinals, and then Artesia, PV, potential second-round matchup. I love it. I think it's good. I'm with you. I'm all about this 5A bracket, too. I just love playoffs. I think finally we kind of shed off the bad teams. We got great matchups. There's been a lot of blowouts this year. Hopefully things will play out and we'll have some good matchups. That's all we want to see, really. Although we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to get some soccer brackets for you, and we'll show you some of those matchups that are going to start on Wednesday, the quarterfinals, and we'll have those championships for you on Friday. Just a minute, we'll be right back.
High school sports are back. The 2018-19 season kicks off, and you could watch every Proview Network broadcast live on the NFHS network. Every moment, from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championships. Get your highly discounted monthly pass now. Go to ProviewNetworks.com and sign up. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dream Style Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dream Style Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or DreamStyleRemodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Let's do some soccer playoffs. This weekend was the first round, and so now we get to the quarterfinals. All the teams with byes, they've got to play Wednesday at Bernalillo, and we'll start with the 8 through 3A girls as Robertson, they defeat East Mountain to move on to the next round. That was a 2-0 win for Robertson. Santa Fe Prep versus Santa Fe Indian, and Santa Fe Prep won it 10-0 to advance to the next round as they'll take on Hatch Valley. Bosque is going to take on St. Mike's. St. Mike's beat ATC 9-1. And Socorro in the quarterfinals is going to take on Navajo Prep. Navajo Prep beat Rehoboth Christian 4-0. So that's your A through 3A girls bracket. They'll all play on Wednesday in the quarterfinals. Let's move along. And that's, oh, we already did move. Okay. A through 3A boys, and now Sandia Prep's going to take on Nimi. Nimi win in a shootout as they beat Socorro. Tierra Antigua, they defeat Desert Academy 2-0 in the 5-12 matchup. They'll take on Hatch Valley in the quarterfinals. Monte del Sol is going to take on St. Mike's, who beat Santa Fe Prep 5-0. Bosque beats Rehoboth 6-1 as they'll take on Robertson. All quarterfinals again on Wednesday. 4A girls now. And it was Del Norte over Moriarty 5-2. So Del Norte,
woo, go Knights.
Josh Brown's Knights will move on as they'll take on Albuquerque Academy in the quarterfinals. Los Alamos, going to take on Aztec as Aztec won 4-1 against Santa Teresa. Goddard beat Grants 1-0. They'll take on St. Pius, the overall 3 seed. In the quarterfinals, Hope Christian going to play host to Artesia, who beat Las Lunas 1-0. So 4A boys, it looks like this. Las Lunas, they finished second in their district, and they beat the district champs Lovington 3-1 on the road. And they'll take on the overall 1 seed, St. Pius, in the quarterfinals. Chaparral will play host to Los Alamos, who smashed Goddard 8-0. Taos get the 2-1 win over Highland as they move on to the next round to take on Santa Teresa. Hope loses in overtime at home to Aztec. They were the defending 3A champs, well, 4A champs last year, but it would be 3A this year as they've moved up a class. So the defending champions are out. So Aztec will take on Albuquerque Academy in 4A boys. Let's check out 5A girls now. La Cueva, man, just a tough seed for them, and I think they're going to prove otherwise. 2-0 win over Hobbs. They'll take on the overall Centennial 1 seed, which I think this is almost like a championship game in the quarterfinals. Cibola Cougars going to play host to their rival Volcano Vista. Very good matchup. 2-0 win. Volcano
Cougars.
They beat Farmington 3-1, and they'll take on Cleveland in the next round. El Dorado with a 1-0 win against Clovis. They send the Wildcats home, and they'll take on Sandia. Their
left-hand side of the bracket, Adam.
Ooh, that left-hand side of the bracket should probably be like the semifinals, right?
Right, seriously. All these teams, Cibola, Volcano, you know, that game's going to be huge. Like, all of these teams have, like, won state in, like, the past, like, 4 or 5 years.
I promise you, Centennial does not want to be seeing La Cueva in a quote-unquote 8 seed in that quarterfinals. I promise.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. Oh, yeah, La Cueva's good.
All right, let's take a look at 5A boys now. And Trisco goes to Alamogordo and gets the win, 3-1 over the last year's 5A champs, which would be 4A this year, but they're up in a class. Clovis 3-0 over Santa Fe at home. As they advance, they'll take on Albuquerque High School. Trisco will get their rival, by the way, Cleveland, or their new district rival. Cleveland has beat Trisco both times this year. Albuquerque High School, the defending state champs. They've been to the state championship 4 years in a row. We'll get Clovis. La Cueva, they're their overall 3 seed. And La Cueva is going to end up playing Mayfield, who beat their rival Gadsden 2-1 in district play. Volcano hammer Rio Rancho, all scores in the second half. Volcano is going to play Hobbs, the 2 seed. And so that's what the boys look like. Remember, we're going to have the championships for you. All of these games will be streaming live on the NFHS Network. You go to our page, www.proviewNetworks.com. All the links will be there. By the way, we've got the 6-man finals for you. The 2 seed Elida going to take on Animas. Our Proview Network crew, myself and Josh Brown, will be there for you, and cross-country finals on Saturday. So a monster week, and then don't forget our bracket breakdown for volleyball Sunday at 4. We've got so much action for you as the state championships heat up. We'll be back on the rundown on Wednesday for Alden Iowani and Josh Brown crew in the zoo. I'm Adam Deal saying we'll see you on Wednesday.
Superchargers!
My goodness.